Have you ever felt like your own body is working against you, like your digestive system is this unpredictable enemy? Well, for millions of people, that's the daily reality of living with Irritable Bowel Syndrome, or IBS. You've probably heard of it, right? It's super common, but it's also, honestly, one of the most misunderstood conditions out there.
And when I say common, I mean really common. To put it in perspective, in countries like the UK and the US, about 1 in every 5 people is dealing with IBS. That's 20%. So next time you're in a room with 4 other people, chances are one of you knows this struggle. It's a huge number, yet it's something people often suffer with in silence.
And, it doesn't affect everyone equally. This chart here shows a pretty significant gender split. It turns out that women make up about 2/3 of all reported cases. Now, how bad is it for those who have it? Well, it really varies. For about 1/3 of people, the symptoms are mild. But for nearly half, it's moderate. And for a solid 20%, that's 1 in 5 sufferers, the condition is severe. We're talking about something that can totally upend your daily life.
So, what does living with IBS actually feel like? Well, as we're about to see, it's a whole constellation of symptoms that goes way, way beyond just a simple stomachache.
Okay, so the most recognizable symptoms are all centered on the gut. And this isn't just a little bit of discomfort. We're talking about often debilitating pain and cramping. Sufferers can swing like totally unpredictably between diarrhea and constipation. They deal with painful bloating and live with this constant, urgent need to find a bathroom right now.
And this is a really crucial point. The disruption from IBS, it radiates far, far beyond the digestive system.
Yeah, it radiates throughout the whole body. A lot of sufferers report this persistent fatigue that's just bone deep, plus nausea, backaches, even bladder issues. This really shows us that IBS isn't just a gut problem, it's a full-body condition.
And this brings us to the profound connection between our gut and our mind. Think about it. That constant physical distress takes a massive mental toll. It leads to much higher rates of anxiety, depression, and chronic fatigue syndrome among IBS sufferers. That is a heavy, heavy burden to carry.
So, this all leads us to the big question, right? What is actually causing this complex web of symptoms? What's really going on?
If you were hoping for one simple cause, well, the reality is it's much more complex than that. Researchers are still trying to piece this whole puzzle together, and it's pretty clear there's no single one-size-fits-all answer. One of the leading theories focuses on the pacing of digestion. Think of your gut like a factory assembly line. If it runs way too fast, you get chaos, and in this case, that's diarrhea. But if it runs too slow, everything gets backed up, leading to constipation. For people with IBS, the gut's internal rhythm is just fundamentally out of sync.
Now here's where it gets really fascinating, how this all links back to the brain. In one experiment, researchers inflated a tiny balloon inside patients' intestines. For most people, it's just a minor physical sensation. But in people with IBS, it triggered activity in the brain's emotional center, making them feel anxious. This suggests their gut isn't just sensitive, it's wired directly into their brain's emotional hub in a way that's totally different.
And there are other potential factors in the mix too. Things like a dysregulated gut-brain axis, an imbalance of gut bacteria, food allergies, and even major life stress can all contribute to either the start or the worsening of IBS symptoms. So with such a complicated problem, where do you even begin to find relief? The good news is there isn't just one path. Instead, there's a whole toolkit of options available to help manage the condition.
Diet is usually the first line of defense. For some, that means keeping a food diary to pinpoint their personal triggers. For others, it's about adjusting fiber intake. And then there's a more structured approach that many people turn to called the low FODMAP diet, which helps identify a group of carbs that can be really tough on a sensitive gut.
Medical support is also a huge piece of the puzzle. Some treatments target the symptoms directly, like antispasmodics for cramping. Others work on the underlying system, like probiotics for the gut biome, or even low-dose antidepressants, which can help calm down those overactive signals between the gut and the brain.
And we can't forget about lifestyle changes. Just getting regular, strenuous exercise, enough to really get your heart rate up, has been shown to be a super effective strategy for managing and relieving symptoms.
Okay, now we're going to dive into one treatment that might surprise you, but it's proving to be remarkably effective. Why? Because it targets that mind-gut connection directly. We're talking about hypnotherapy.
And this isn't some fringe idea either. The UK's National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, also known as NICE,
officially recommends hypnotherapy as a valid treatment for IBS, especially for people who haven't had much luck with other methods.
So, how does it actually work? Well, you can think of it as a three-part process. First, it puts you in a state of deep relaxation to calm your nervous system right down. Second, it uses guided visualization to help lower the gut's hypersensitivity. And finally, it helps you build new psychological coping strategies to better manage the thoughts and behaviors that can make symptoms worse.
And the results? They're really compelling. For the 2/3 of patients who don't find relief with standard medical treatments, gut-directed hypnotherapy has been shown to be a highly effective solution. That's huge.
And what makes this even better is how accessible it is. A 2018 study confirmed that hypnotherapy delivered remotely, over video call, is just as effective as doing it in person. This means a powerful solution is now within reach for more people than ever before.
The story of IBS reveals this powerful truth. The line we draw between our mental and physical health is, well, it's a lot blurrier than we ever imagined. It leaves us with this fascinating question. Could the real key to healing our gut be hidden not in our stomach, but in our mind?